I'm Jennifer Horn, and joining me is my friend who I have not seen in nearly, it's just been way too long. Roxanne Hoge is here. She is the chairman for the LA GOP. You can give her a follow at Roxanne Hoge, and welcome back to the program.
I'm so glad to see you, because we keep just talking on the phone, but we never actually get to be in person.
Like real communication, you know, like the old days when you can actually look one-on-one. And when you walked in, I showed you, and you're like, is that a newspaper? And I said, yes, this is the California Post, first edition today. So.
And it's adorable. I like the shape.
It's
like a square newspaper.
Tabloid style, which I like. Yeah. Then you don't have to worry about holding it up and like the crisscrossing and the C, the fold and all of that stuff. So, all right, let's talk about real stuff. I'm going to get into the LA GOP here in a second. We'll get your take on Minneapolis and the response here at home. But people in California who are conservative, people in Los Angeles who are conservative, sometimes feel like they are all alone. We want people to get active. We want people to either volunteer and find a campaign that they're passionate about. We want people to support conservative causes. We want people to run for office. And a lot of times there are conservatives who just stay out of the fray because they think, what's the point? And you have an event coming up that's going to tell you the point, that we all need to come together. We all need to get active. And there is support out there for people who have political aspirations or who just want to do more.
Or just want to feel that they're not alone. And here's the good news. They're not. Because LA County is home to more Republicans than any other county in the entire United States of America. And that's just registered Republicans. We're not talking about all the people who you say conservatives, but really at this point, anyone with half a brain who has common sense, who would just, I don't know, like to drive on a street and not have their tire drop into the pothole.
That'd be nice.
Walk on a sidewalk and not have to avoid people who are in the process of sadly killing themselves and shooting up with fentanyl, or who would like to be able to, have a school that their kids can attend that actually teaches reading, writing, and arithmetic. So for that reason, we say everyone should take a step to the right. There are plenty of friends of ours who are Democrats, who are registered Democrats, because that's how they've always been.
That's right.
It's time to drop the D, honey. Like, move on over.
But even if you don't.
The NPP, well, don't let them have your numbers. Because that's the thing. You're letting them speak anti-Semitic, horrible, revolutionary, crazy thoughts in your name. So go ahead and take a step to the right and change your registration to NPP. And then to all my NPP friends out there.
Are you down with NPP?
I'm down with NPP.
You said,
for
yeah,
sure.
you know me.
Yeah, you know me, baby. But if you're NPP and you're actually a Republican, you've come to realize that, oh my goodness, you know what? I would like law enforcement to enforce the law, parents to parent, builders to build. Then come on over. Chips are on the table, beers in the cooler, and just become a registered Republican. It makes us easier to find each other.
That's
so
right.
on Saturday, we're having a mixer where everyone can get together and see candidates and meet candidates like Steve Hilton, people for statewide office, people for countywide office, people for assembly. There's also going to be training happening for people who are interested in or running for municipal offices. There's 1,700 nonpartisan offices in Los Angeles County.
That's insane.
But guess what? Over 500 of them are held by Republicans.
Right.
So it's not that we're not there. It's just that we're quiet and well-behaved.
And a lot of times people just don't know this stuff, too, which is great. So it's a good way to kind of get yourself informed. All right. So you mentioned some of the candidates coming out. Tell us who is going to be there on Saturday and where people can go to join us.
So if you go to lagop.org, and you have to do the .org because Louisiana felt like they had LA as well. Yeah, whatever. We're actually bigger. So lagop.org, we have a calendar. And right there on the calendar under Saturday, you can click if you're a regular person and you want to meet other regular people. And, sort of regular, because really if you're spending your Saturday talking about politics,
you're
not
a little
super.
Weird, but
we
like it.
You're a little quirky. I'm quirky. I'm a longtime geek. But if you're a candidate or a potential candidate, there's also training being done by our friends at the California Policy Center, and that's on our calendar too, and you can register for that. So definitely you should be at lagop.org anyway, so you can get emails and find out what's going on, because the only way through this is if we realize that we're not alone, because people don't vote when they feel like their vote doesn't count.
That's right.
But if you realize that, for example, we have Senator Suzette Valladares. She was once an assemblywoman, and that race where she lost that race was decided by under 500 votes.
So close.
Mike Garcia, so close. So many people. You are needed and valued and wanted. Sadly, the the flyer for the event says championships are won in the off season. And I know the Rams had a little
way to put a little salt in the wound.
Sorry. But what do they do? What are they doing today? Okay, maybe not today, but tomorrow
they're going to start rebuilding.
They're getting back in the weight room. You get in the weight room, you learn the plays, you practice over and over and over again so you can win in the future.
That's right.
And 2026 is a chance for us to really make a difference, but we're only going to make a difference in November if people get through the top 2 in May and June.
Because we have to learn also how to leverage the system. The system in California is a lot different than it is in other places. So it kind of helps if you have an idea about how to actually do all this, how your vote actually works, why it's so important, and how you can communicate to your friends and neighbors. I always say this, Roxanne, that you are the most important beacon. Roxanne Hoge can talk all day long. Jennifer Horn can talk all day long. We can listen to candidates talk all day long. But when you are out there at your kids' school, at your office, at your church, you are the one that bring people along to get us to victory. So on Saturday, we're going to be in Santa Clarita. That's right?
Amen. Yes,
Amen.
girl.
So Saturday, we're going to be at 20880 Center Point Parkway, Santa Clarita. You have confirmed, it seems, we've got Steve Hilton, Don Wagner. This is just as of now.
Herb Morgan.
A
bunch
Michael
of other
Gates.
Yeah, Michael Gates is running for Attorney
AG.
General.
Yep.
A bunch of other people. It's just $20. It's well worth it. Come on out and meet the crew.
That's right. And I am going to do my best to get there as well. So you may even have an opportunity to come hang with me.
I asked you a long time ago. I did. So I hope to see you. Susan Shelley, you can sign for Prop 13.
That's right. She's great. So come on out. It's going to be a really good day. 9:30 to noon, Santa Clarita, 20880 Center Point Parkway, $20 to support. Come see some candidates, learn how to get involved, and see where the place for you is in 2026, because we need you in the game. And LAGOP.org is the place to go for all the information.
It sure is. Thank you.
Thank you, Roxanne. Roxanne Hoge is with us. Give her a follow. You can find her at Roxanne Hoge. It's that easy on X and on social media. All right. And welcoming back to the studio, because I said, we have to talk a little bit more. So we told you about the big LAGOP event that's coming up this weekend. I'll be there early in the morning. So get there early, 9:30. It's going till noon. I'll be there right at 9:30. And Roxanne Hoge is with us. She is the chairman for the LAGOP. LAGOP.org is the website. You can come and see us in Santa Clarita this weekend. We'll both be out there with Steve Hilton, Herb Morgan, Michael Gates,
Stacey Korsgaden, just a bunch of people. Maybe Sonia Shaw is going to be there. Stop by, because it's so important to know that people are in the arena fighting for you.
That's right. You're not alone. That's for sure. Now, we have a lot of news today, too, as you know, and watching, it's awful. Like, as an American, as a sane, I think relatively sane person, some days, watching what happened in Minneapolis this weekend is just heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see federal agents attacked. It's heartbreaking to see people who are just so angry, and there's just so much vitriol that's going on our streets, and it's hard to watch. But that being said, we've got a lot of leaders who are inflaming this. And even here at home,
100%.
The mayor, who I like to call Care Bear, not calming people down, just inflaming people because it benefits them politically. So you're an immigrant to this country, and tell people what you think of when you see this and you see how these elected officials respond.
I see an actual purpose signs in there that go, oh my God, this is terrible. Underpinning all that is an actual organized movement of far leftists, and Karen Bass, make no mistake, is a complete Marxist through and through. And they are trying to foment this discord on purpose, and they are using people like Alex Petty, like Rachel Good, as cannon fodder. If it bleeds, it leads for them. That is a win for them. They are putting people in harm's way, first of all, just by the mere creation of sanctuary, air quotes, laws, right? So that is step one, because then ICE cannot go safely get criminal illegal aliens from a jail, which, by the way, none of us are in.
Right.
So they release them into the community. So ICE has to go play hide and seek with very dangerous people who have a lot to lose, who don't want to go quietly, thus setting up the collateral damage of other people around them in their communities. And then they're also, if you've seen the reporting of Asra Nomani or Cam Higbee, they're setting up very organized signal and Discord chats, and they are pursuing everyone in a rental SUV who stays in a hotel and chasing them down and putting people in harm's way. And then the elected officials like Karen Bass issue statements within minutes of that shooting declaring who's wrong. I was asked for a response, and my response was to say, well, I wasn't there and neither was Karen Bass. And we wait for the investigation. But I know one thing for darn sure. I don't show up at protests armed, not identifying myself, and in interrupting law enforcement.
Yeah, it's another thing that I think is so interesting. And I am very pro Second Amendment. I am very pro CCW, but it's something, Roxanne, I've been saying all day. The NRA went after Bill Asaley, the U.S. attorney, because Bill Asaley basically said the same thing. Don't be stupid. Don't show up with a gun to a protest. And I think there's just room for sanity right now, that just because it's lawful doesn't make it smart. And in Minnesota, it actually isn't lawful. You're not supposed to show up to protests with guns, especially if you don't have identification, which this guy did not.
And by the way, even if your responsibility when you carry, whether you have a concealed permit or not, is to stay out of harmful situations, right? You don't go to a bar crawl with your weapon. And if you are ever approached by law enforcement or in a situation with them and you do carry, what is rule number 1?
You say, I have a gun on me, concealed carry permit, and I'm carrying.
Thank you.
That's it. I know it is like we've lost any kind of sensibility. And so I think one of the things that needs to reign supreme here is that we just take a deep breath, that we realize that an investigation has to happen here, that we need to know the context, and that just because you saw one video does not make you an expert. Do I ever want to see anybody shot and killed on the streets, on American streets? No way. Do I think that there's an argument about whether or not that should have happened? No, but you know how you prevent that from happening? You don't put yourself in the middle of it. And sadly, these elected officials and these influencers online and these people who are paying for these protesters, they get them to insert themselves. And it's ridiculous that people are being used as pawns.
Chris Rock has a fairly good instructive video on how not to get your ass whipped by the police. I said a bad word. I'm so sorry.
You're fine. It's okay. It's okay. We can say that word. It's biblical. Well, that is something that's interesting. If you look at those protests, you know what you don't see a lot of? You don't see a lot of black people there. You don't. You don't. You see a lot of crazy,
liberal boomers and their foot soldiers who are all teachers and nurses.
Is that terrible to say? I don't know, but it's the truth. It's just an observation. All right, Roxanne Hoge, thank you so much. Come and see us. 9:30 is the start time till noon. A lot of candidates. I'll be there. But come early. If you want to see me, come early. 9:30 or so. That's when you got to come. Roxanne will be there all day. Don't feel alone anymore. Santa Clarita is the place. The LA GOP is having a mixer. Nice way to start the new year. LAGOP.org. Go to the calendar section and you can get more information on the event. Roxanne, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you for all you do.
All right.